I'm Matt and this is Learn With Me, where I attempt to write a subgenre of music that I've not tried to write before. Last year I tried Psychedelic Folk and it was a lot of fun and I learnt a lot along the way, and I really wanted to revisit it today. Characteristics are usually experimental production, surreal and poetic lyrics, extended song structures and improvised sections, and atmospheric and trance-like moods. Artists such as Vashti Bunyan, Comus and Tim Buckley are just some artists I've listened to for inspiration for this. So two things I really wish I could have done last time is have some vocals on it and also some real live drums, and I'm going to try to do both today. But first, let's get into Ableton. So first I want to set a tempo, and I'm thinking 80 BPM. Yeah, I think that's a nice tempo. So next, let's set up the audio channels. And I'm thinking to start off with bass on this one. It's like I've shown in previous videos, I actually have this wide up so I can actually have everything go through the pedal board from Ableton. So I'm going to quickly route that now. So first I have the raw audio, and then I have the pedal board. So my raw audio comes in on 2. I need to do the external audio to 3 because that's where the output on the interface goes to the pedal board. And then the pedal board comes back in on 3, and they both need to be set to in. And I'm just going to create a few audio channels, so if there's any good audio, I can just drag them down to these. I'm just going to throw in some quick drums in here just for me to play to, because I always prefer playing to an actual kit part than the click. And I'm just going to have a simple drum beat. In fact, I'm just going to use addictive drums for this because I don't want these kind of digital drums giving me the wrong vibe for the song. So just expand that and move these up to a hi-hat. In fact, I'm going to have 8 notes on the hi-hats. Okay, let's get on bass. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you'll know that I'm always complaining about my cable management, and then yes, I still have not sorted it out yet. We should now be getting level. I could put on any of my delays, so I put the Avalanche run on. Yeah, okay, I'm going to use that. The only thing that's bugging me is I want a little bit more low end, so I'm going to use the Native Instruments Guitar Rig 7, and I've actually put this on the raw audio, which means not only will this be recorded onto the audio, it also means it's at the front of the chain before going to the pedal board. So bass, and I think the first preset, max bass, is quite a nice one. And we're getting a bit more low end. Okay, so that's sounding good. Let's record this in. And I could even, if I wanted to, record the raw audio as well, so I could actually have a clean channel as well, and that's the other great way of recording it like this. Ring it out for a little bit. So I think the next section, and maybe I'll switch to pick for this. Something like that could work. So let's record that. A little bit sloppy in places, but we can just copy and paste. So a little crossfade there to smooth it out a bit. I think what I'd like to do now is get on. So now we want to disable this amp, but I'm going to keep it down there because it will be handy to refer back to if we want to record more bass. So I'm going to use Guitar Rig 7 for the guitar as well. Let's change the input to guitar. We want something quite clean. Lo-fi delight. I mean, that's lovely. That's really nice. I might remove that noise, but I'm going to keep it for now. I'm going to keep the Avalanche run on. And let's just have a jam over it. In fact, I might even record, because sometimes I'll just come up with stuff that's work perfectly. Sometimes it's dreadful, but I'm going to record and see. Actually went better than I thought it was going to. There was some bits in there that I'd have to change because I think I went to a major chord. Should be minor. Let's have a quick look and see if we can tidy it up quickly. I think it's this one. Yeah. So I think what I'd like to do now is put like a lead part down and do input source again, guitar. Kind of also want clean, simple pleasure. That's very nice. I'm actually going to turn the Avalanche run off, and I'm just going to have a play over it and see what I can come up with. I think when this bass bit, maybe we'll have a short little instrumental, maybe like a little guitar flourish or something. Maybe let's put the Avalanche run back on. I'm just going to record and hopefully maybe I'll come up with something that works. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Obviously, we need to now come up with a new section. I'm not sure about that second chord, actually. Oh, you know what? I much prefer that. I'm going to keep that ring out, I like that. So I'm going to go back to the lead sound that we have down here. Okay, yeah, that's quite nice. Just very simple. And let's just try the one that's slightly more complicated. So I'm also thinking that chord progression, then that last bit could also maybe be like an outro for the song. So let's get back on bass. And I think for this, I'm going to turn the Avalanche run off because I don't want any more delay on the bass. Let's do a simple version of the bass. And then for that second part, or the repeat of it, we kind of add some more complexity to the bass line as well. So let's go back to that first guitar rig here. Let's go for it. Got that, so that's good. Let's drag this down to bass, and then let's do it again for this section, but we want to make it a bit more complex this time. So let's go for it. That was great up until I forgot to ring it out for that last bit. That's just there. And I also record the next bit. Do that down there. So we've got like an intro, like a verse, a chorus, and then we've also got like a outro section as well. It's quite short. Let's color code all this. Okay, cool. I think what I'd like to do now is add maybe like a string of some sort, maybe like a cello. Let's use this MIDI track we've got here. And for this, I'm going to use the Spitfire Audio's Labs. And they do have some good cello sounds. Let's do tension. Tremmy, Morbin. Not so sure about that. So let's cello mood. That's pretty nice. It's too melancholy. Yeah, that's lovely. Okay, so let's just figure out what we're going to actually play over this. So let's just record that. And it does this cool thing where it will slide up to C automatically. So which is very cool. Okay. Cool, well that'll do for now, so let's just cut that out. It needs to be a lot quieter in the mix, so I want it to be very subtle. Yeah, that's much better. And then yeah, for this section it's the same notes, isn't it? And then we want it to hold that D sharp. Then we get the other notes in here. I'm also going to put the baby audio spaced out on this as well, just to make it sound a bit more atmospheric. I'm going to turn the delay off, which is the left side. Maybe lower it a tiny bit. I think what I'd like to do now is add like a staccato violin as well. Just like here and there, nothing crazy. Like, let's just copy Labs from this, bring it over to this. Let's have a look, what have we got violin-wise? Let's do BBC So Violin. And then short. I almost want like a fiddle or something. I want something that doesn't sound that great in a way. Iconic cello. Maybe we could do it with cello. Oh, actually that's quite cool, the plucking. Let's come in on the second time round. There's some bits in there that I quite liked. I'm going to quantize it because some of it was a little bit loose. Where's that bad note? Was it here? Yeah. And slower it in the mix a bit more. I'm going to pan the cello a little bit to the left and keep this to the right a little bit. Then for this next bit, maybe like a little arpeggio. Let's record that. And then we'll just loop that, quantize it as well, because the playing was a little bit sloppy at places. Just copy and paste that. We just want it to finish. But maybe it can sit on that note. We can play a couple. Okay, let's just copy and paste all that again. I think I want this plucked bit to start straight away. Now let's copy the chorus bit. Copy this last note. I'm not sure that's actually the right note. Push it down to G. So we've got some guitar, bass and some strings in there as well. I think it's actually come together quite nicely. The thing I think that's missing though is kind of more of an improvised section. So I think the best place for this, I think maybe before the final chorus. So I'm going to move this. Maybe here, let's have an instrumental. I'm just going to copy this last phrase for the strings. Just have the strings sit on that one note for a bit. So let's just dive in. That was okay. Cool, so let's get on guitar now. let's do the rhythm guitar. And I think the rhythm could just follow the bass. Let's see if I remember what I did. Actually got most of that right. Now the lead part. So let's switch to that third sound. And I'm going to put the Avalanche run on this. Okay, let's stick with that. I'll stick with what I said. And let's just stick with that. Okay, so now we can drag back the chorus. Before I jump on anything else, I just want to color code the improvised section. Oh, I think one thing I really want to get into is kind of more of the experimental production. But before I do that, I want to jump on drums and add some actual real kit on this. And with this, I'm going to try just do a couple of takes and then splice them together. I don't want to do too much because I want that kind of improvised feel and that flow. So let's get on the kit. Okay, cool. So I did 2 takes on that, and I think the second one was far better, but there was one section where I started doing this tom thing and it didn't really work. So I'm gonna go back to the first take and just cut that in. So here's our take. If I just copy this over here, drag it all the way out here. So all I wanna do is pull this. We've got our second take here. What I wanna do is find the section. I think let's just take it from here. I'll copy that in. Paste that in. I think it's around the solo bit, I think. That was the bit that I was talking about. This is the second take that I pulled in. So I've just got that little section from take 1, color it slightly differently. First I'm going to move this because I'm a bit OCD with these types of things with the layout, so I like my drums right at the top. Let's first look at the kick. Let's just pick a section where it's playing a lot. Turn the click off. First thing I want to do is add a noise gate to this. Let's add the Ableton gate. And we can actually listen to certain frequencies. So I just wanted to focus on real low end. Just if I turn it off, you can hear the snares coming in. If I put it on, completely missing out those snares. So that cleans up a little bit. Now I want to compress this. So I'm going to use the glue compressor. Put the threshold up a bit. Push the makeup a bit. Okay, that's sounding pretty good. And then I'm going to add the Waves BB tubes. Say it every time, but I use it in pretty much every video. I absolutely love it. And I'm just going to push these up to 4 on both the Beauty and the Beast. Raise the bass relief. Okay, now let's move on to the snare. Let's put the BB tubes on this. Put it back up to 4 as well, just like the kick drum. I'm not going to bother with bass relief because it's all high. And then let's listen to these overheads. Now what I want to do is compress these. So I'm going to use the glue compressor. In fact, I'm going to group these. I'm going to put the glue compressor on this. Push the threshold up. I want it to be quite harsh. And then listen to the whole kit. Now I'm going to group the whole kit together. Let's call this drums. And I want to add some reverb to this. So I'm just going to try the built-in reverb in Ableton. Raise the dry signal. Sounding quite good, and let's hear it in context. So that's already sounding quite nice. Let's hear it from the beginning. Add some fades in here. Right, I want to put a compressor on the snare. Let's use the glue compressor. Yeah, sounding quite good. Lower the overheads just a tiny bit. I wonder what would happen if I actually bounce this all down to the stereo track and then quantize. So let's create a new track. Let's just set this to drums and let's just record it. And while that's exporting, if you're interested in what mics I use for the drum kit, on the kick I use the Shure Beta 52A. For the snare I use the Barodynamics TGI51. And for the overheads I use the SC Electronics SE7s. So we now have the drums on a stereo track, so I can just minimize that. So what happens if we try quantize all this? So let's have a look at the solo section, because this is where it might sound really... Wow, it's actually done a pretty good job. I mean, you can hear some artifacts there, but I don't mind that so much. And what I'm going to do is actually add the BB tubes on top of this on the stereo recording now that we have. I just want it to sound a little bit more retro. Let's push up the beauty a bit more. Push the bass relief up. And I want to EQ it a little bit. Before I do that, I'm actually going to add the Abbey Road plates on this. Although I've just selected the mono, I want the stereo. And let's look at some of the presets. Warm drum case. Yeah, that's nice. But then we want to bring some of the dry signal back. Okay, that sounded pretty good. And what I want to do is also EQ this a little bit. So I'm going to use the Q3 stereo, and I want to just lower the high end a little bit so it's not so harsh. Let's wind it up a little bit. This here in context. Lower it a bit. Now I don't like the tone of the snare, so I'm actually going to try pitch this just one semitone up. Yeah, that's sounding quite good. Pushing the beast up a little bit on the BB tubes. Lower the level a bit. What I'd like to try do now, one of the last characteristics I don't think I've really hit is the lyrical side of it, the surreal and poetic lyrics I'm thinking. So I'm actually going to set up a vocal mic and I'm just going to ad-lib over it basically. I'm just going to come up with some kind of vocal parts. Nothing too like deep or anything. I'm just going to flow with it. So let me set up the vocal mic quickly. Okay. And if you're wondering, this is a Neumann TLM 102. And just for now, I'm actually going to use Ableton's built-in reverb for this. So I think for this, I'm just going to do some kind of like wailing things and like, you know, I'm not really going to do anything like too lyrical, I don't think. Okay, here we go. Okay, I think it's clearly I'm talking about something from above. It sounds like aliens. So for the chorus, maybe I like the idea of talking about maybe like a UFO or something coming to get me. Let's try that. Like a silver sphere.
A silver sphere comes for me. A silver sphere comes for me.
And what I want to try to do while this is all set up is try to do a harmony with that line. I just want to check the volume because I think I am coming a bit loud.
A silver sphere comes for me. A silver sphere comes for me.
Doesn't sound too bad. Let's hear that together. Obviously that second one needs to be a lot lower in the mix.
A silver sphere comes for me.
Let's just shift that a bit so it in time with that. Now we're hearing the drums a bit more. I quite like the fact it sounds like kind of a bit glitchy. I mean, it kind of works for this genre. So we've got a chorus, I think. We've got kind of a verse. All right, let's try record some harmonies for this first verse. I think maybe with a bit of tuning, that might sound okay. Hey, what about the next bit? Okay, it's the same. I wonder if I could just copy and paste that. I'm not sure I want to try sing that again. Okay, now we've got the chorus. I'm going to copy it here. Now, one thing I want to add as well is that I'm keeping this quite simple because I like the idea of adding loads of effects onto this, like loads of delays and reverbs. For the second verse, okay, I'm going to maybe say something like maybe about don't remembering anything or something.
It's hard to remember what I saw that day. It's hard to remember what I saw that day.
And then we want a harmony on that.
Remember what I saw that day. It's hard to remember what I saw that day.
Okay, so let's look against some tuning on this. I'm going to use Waves Tune for this. And just use the mono one. And then put this on the other one as well. And then what I need to do is just have it play and then start to analyze. And I'll just let that do its thing for the whole song. So that's kind of tuned it. Okay, some of these notes, this one, let's just make that illegal. So it should move more around now. So that won't hit that note anymore. And let's make that one illegal too. I think we're almost there in terms of all the elements and stuff. I think one last thing I want to do is add some shaker to some of this. So I'm just going to create basically a loop that we can add in and take out when we need to. But we've got this mic set up already, so I'm just going to use this. I'm thinking just having it over the chorus.
A silver sphere comes for me.
Now this is slightly ahead, and I'm wondering if this is because I've got so many auto-tune things that are maybe making everything like a bit of latency or something. So let's just shift that.
A silver sphere comes for me.
Much lower in the mix. Because I pan it to the left slightly, and just copy this for the other chorus as well. Right, so the harmony needs to be lower in the mix.
A silver sphere.
Vocals need to be quiet as well. So right now I'm using this reverb, which I'm going to turn off now, and I want to have a look at what we've got here. Let's try use the Abbey Road plates for this. Look at the presets. Oh, another note that's weird. Let's make that note illegal as well. And let's bring some dry signal in there.
It's hard to remember what I saw that day.
Let's just keep this completely wet signal. Maybe not, it's too. I'm going to do 50-50. Now I'm thinking about adding Transit 2 to the main vocal. We've got so many great presets in this, so...
They're coming.
And that's pretty cool. I want to add Transit 2 to the backing. I'm going to turn this Abbey Road off for now. I mean, that's great. That's exactly what I really wanted with those vocals. Like quite trippy. And let's automate this. So maybe it goes to like 100% once it gets to this bit. Yeah, so it kind of continues on. I'm also going to add Transit 2 to the drums and see how that sounds. Yeah, that's really cool. Okay, now I think for the solo section, I want to automate the drums so the delay gets more and more as we go through this section. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think also I'd like to, for this solo bit, or the instrumental, I think I want to add like an overdrive to the guitar. And for this, I'm going to use slave instruments, the guitar for this. And I'm hoping we can just get like a pedal board or some kind of distortion pedal. Our components, here we go. So we just want to throw on some kind of pedal. Let's try Big Fuzz. Yeah, that could work. So what I want to do is automate that. So let's automate that off and have it come on for this little bit. It might come on too loud maybe. Yeah, I like that. And then I'm thinking adding Transit 2 by Abbey Audio on top of this. And I kind of want to find one of those filters because I kind of want the distortion or that overdrive to carry on a little bit once it goes back to clean. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's automate that to kind of come in a bit here. And automate it slowly down a bit for this final bit. I want to add a low cut on all these guitars just to clean up the mix. It's amazing how what a big difference this makes when you add low cuts to kind of everything but the bass or the kick drum as well. I'm going to be quite harsh with those, so I'm going to put them on both the guitars. Good. Yeah, raise that rhythm guitar up a little bit. I'm going to put the BB tubes on there as well. Just put the beauty up a little bit. Push up the bass reliefs. And I quite like the idea, this maybe, we push the automation up on this, on the Transit 2 on this vocal part as well, just before this kind of instrumental section. So this needs to be louder though, doesn't it? I think this solo. What else can we add to this? There's a volume. So I'll make this volume. Maybe a bit more. Push it up so it gets a bit louder as the time goes on. That's all sounding a bit cleaner. We've automated some of the effects. We've added some low cuts to the guitars. Now I think I want to look at this last section again because I kind of want this to be a little bit more beefy. For this last bit, I'm going to push up the Transit 2 on the drums. So it starts to kind of sound a little bit lost. Yeah, something like that for the end. Take out the gaps, any gaps in the vocals, just in case there's any kind of sounds that are picked up on the mic as they're going on. Put a fade there. Maybe let's cut this out as well. Put a fade. But we can. This guitar doesn't start straight away, so let's cut that out and fade that in as well. Okay, another thing I want to do is actually add the Waves vocal rider to these vocals. If you're not aware of it, it almost works as like an automated volume essentially. It's just like the idea that you're in studio when you're kind of riding the fader. I'm not been in the big studio for a while now, but you know, used to when you're recording something, you could be going back and forth with the fader and then recording that back in. So the premise is kind of that, but it's automatic. So if I add this, probably add it to just after the tuning we have here, and you'll see when I play, you'll see it automatically going up and down. It's a really, really handy little plug-in there. So I'll put that on both. I think something else I want to do, going back to this kind of solo instrumental section, I think I want to do a similar thing with the rhythm guitar as well, and maybe add slight overdrive to it. Oh yeah, this time around, this rhythm guitar, I'm actually going to use the Waves GTR stump box. So let's do an overdrive for this. Let's solo it. Not so much drive. Let's lower the tone a bit. Okay, and let's just automate that coming on for this section, and then automate it off. Because with the vocals, we kind of, most of the time have harmonies, I'm thinking about panning these slightly as well. So panning once just slightly to the left and slightly to the right. So if you're listening on headphones, you'll hear that the vocals have sound a little bit like they've got a bit more space now, because I've panned them. I'm now thinking we can automate the overdrive on this rhythm guitar in this instrumental section. I also want to automate the actual saturation because I kind of want it to like lessen as it goes on a bit. Let's make these points So you can see it down here, it's lowering. Yeah, that's a really nice effect. So I think we'll leave it there. We've got all the elements in there. We've done some production on it. I've probably spent just over 3 hours on this. So I'm just going to whack some Ozone 11 on it and we'll have a listen. So I want Isotope, Ozone 11, put that on the master track. And as always, I'm just going to use the Balanced Master preset. Does the job quite well out of the box. I use it a lot for like demoing and things like that. So let's have a playthrough. My second attempt at Psychedelic Folk. It's so much fun. It's been a lot of, I've really enjoyed it, getting back into this one. If you know Psychedelic Folk well, then please give me a comment, any improvements I can make or things I got right. I'm trying to think if there's anything I'd do differently, but it's hard to say because I don't know the genre that well. I think maybe the vocals, you'd maybe have more harmonies maybe, or maybe softer spoken. I think one thing actually I'd love to improve on is actually having a real kind of, cello or violin in there. That would be lovely. Fortunately, I don't play those instruments. I did have a violin. My brother, a long time ago, bought a violin. and I remember playing it. I remember learning where the notes were, but yeah, getting the bow right was it was very difficult. Maybe I'll get back into that one day. Maybe I'll pick the violin up again. But I think I'm happy with it. It's been really, really fun, like I said. If you've liked the video, please like. If you're new to the channel, please give it a subscribe as well, all that good stuff. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time.